Good morning, everyone. Peter Racy here. In the second of the Christmas 2020 series. And best place to start, I suspect, is the Christmas present that you got, a 1987 from Llew, that then sort of empowered the census play experience, of which you've got a graphic example behind you. I assume of the marketing, either to get the funds and or to get people in and to experience that wonderful facility. So Lawrie, if you could just tell us a little bit about the Christmas surprise, we can launch into the series.
Yeah, yes, it certainly was a surprise because we'd been working for ever since 1983 on the whole planning for Expo, and a number of sites were chosen for play experiences with the theme of leisure in the age of technology. And as Expo got more and more popular with the nations of the world signing up, we lost two of those sites to pavilions, and that left the one for which became the census playground. And so it was Christmas Eve, 1987, as you said, that Llew called me to his office and he said, "I've got a Christmas present for you, and here's the cheque for $250,000 from Suncorp to create the census playground." So the illustration behind was used as a promotional thing to gain sponsorship and just to promote what could happen with that. And so it was a really amazing environment where we wanted to touch people's senses in so many different ways as they progress through the census playground. And as you can see there behind me, it was a very technological, sort of abstract, futuristic place to go through. And we began at where there's 4 or 5 little pyramids there across the main concourse, which was a walkway that meandered all through all these spaces and gave you access to sorts of experiences. But that first one there was the sight experience, where my optometrist made a number of different lenses so that people who went through could see if they had astigmatism, short sight, long sight, or whatever. And I believe that as a result of that, a lot of people, a lot of children have found out to have eye problems because of that. And then you move further along the ramp up through the system. And I found when going over to Hollywood to go shopping, which we had to do to design the whole playground and get everything done that we'd sourced previously at various places. And there we found at Universal Studios an amazing device that projected what was like a holographic image in space in front of you. And we thought, right, now this is we'll turn this into a telephone. So we created this futuristic telephone booth, and this was in it, and people walking into it and through would see this image of a telephone that was ringing, but they knew it wasn't real because it was a hologram. Anyway, human nature being what it is, people would reach in to lift the receiver, and immediately they did that. We had Joe Bjelke-Petersen, the Premier, saying, "Don't you worry about that, it's not really there." And just a bit of fun that way, which he was involved with. And then we went into a series of 3 or 4 big geometric blocks, which you can see behind me there, each one with a different experience. And the first one was about orchestra, where you could go in, you could select an instrument, then you could play a few notes on a little piano keyboard. You could suggest a music type, jazz or whatever you wanted to, and then the computer system would using your half dozen notes, would write a short piece of music, and you were enveloped by that, which was quite interesting to see. There was another one called Solaris, which used sunlight coming through, and it broke up into its rainbow patterns and things, but it also generated sounds and interesting effects as well. So that was another interesting one. Then there was the touch experience, where we found these huge big glass balls that were with electronic lightning shafts and things in it, and you could put your fingers over them and the lightning would come to your fingers and so on. So we're touching all of those sorts of things. And then under the big pyramid in the middle, there was a dance floor, more or less. It was a gridded pattern, and it had been sensitized by a product we found in Melbourne called three-dimensional interactive space. And we could sensitize each of the squares on this checkerboard with a note of music. And as you danced around on these, you could write your own music as you danced. And that was a great hit. People really enjoyed doing that. And there's a whole lot of other things in there as well, all to do with stimulating yourself. An incredible sort of maze of inflatable plastic sausages, for want of a better terminology, that you could walk through. We found that in Hamburg in Germany and brought it out, especially for Expo. And that really distorted your mind with all these different primary colours that you walk from one to the other, and you came out feeling a little bit disoriented. And immediately in front of you, then there was Kit, the talking car from that television series Knight Rider, which Universal Studios had offered to us. And so as you emerged from colour space, Kit would talk to you and you could talk back to Kit. And so that was fun, and so this playground was very attractive to a lot of people, and it gave them a lot of new experiences and exploring their own senses.
It's interesting, Lawrie, because the information sheet that you've prepared that's going into the John Oxley Library, I think Senses Play, from recollection of what I've seen to date, has the most amount of information on it and will be of great interest and use if Queensland is ever able to get a garden expo, because it is just jam-packed full of ideas which can be exploded out and used fully in a garden expo. And it's really just another great example of the depth of thought that did go into World Expo 88. Now, we'll just conclude this section on Senses Play here, and we're going to then move off into a slightly different topic, but one which will grow into a much more serious topic. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'll say good morning and thank you.